Okay, so this is 12.2 experimental probability of simple events, a standard, and you're objected to be able to find experimental probability with at least 80% accuracy with the given practice of a simple event. 3 vocabulary words. So the first one, experimental probability, is basically you compare the numbers of times that you get a specific event. For instance, getting a green marble, getting a pink marble, right? Out of the total number of trials, okay? So for instance, if I have a bag with marbles and I pull out a marble and I want specific, let's see how many, what's the probability of getting in a specific color, in this case like green, out of all the times that I pull it out, and then that way my experimental probability. A simple event is basically just something that happens with one outcome. So for instance, just thinking about just the one color, like green marble or the pink marble, the purple marble. What we'll get to the compound events later in the next lesson, so you can compare those two. And then a simulation is basically a model of an experiment that you would perform instead of doing the actual thing, the experiment, just because of convenience or because of difficulty. Okay, so for instance, instead, if you already know that a basketball player has a 30%, that 30% of the time he makes free shots, right? Free throws. Then you can say out of the 54 times that he's gonna have free throws, how many times will he make it? Instead of having the actual person do it 54 times, then you can use some of this to perform that, and I will get back to here. So this you need to know, okay? Experimental probability equals the number of times that the actual event occurs, happens, over the total number of trials, okay? So in this case, let's do each one of them. So the first thing, because I do need the total number of trials. Again, imagine you have a bag with marbles, different colors, green, and then different colors of marbles, and then out of the total times that you pull out a marble, you get 7 of those times were green, and then 10 times the marble was pink, and then the third time the marble was brown. Okay, so then let's find the experimental probability of getting those colors out of the total number of trials. So the first thing I need to do is find out the total number of trials. How many times did I pull out a marble from the bag? And that's gonna be found by adding all this together. So 10 plus 7 is 17 plus 3 more or less 20. So this is the number of total times that I pull out a marble from the bag. Okay, so then I'm gonna do, okay, how many times did I get a green marble? 7 out of how many? Out of 20. Right, what about pink? 10 out of 20. And then brown, 3 out of 20. From here I have to simplify. This 2 cannot be simplified because I have a prime number there, so that stays, but this one I can simplify over as 1/2, okay? So this is your fraction form. Now let's get it to decimal and actual percentage. So remember, first one goes inside the house, so I have to do 7 divided by 20. So first one goes inside the house. 20 doesn't go into 7, so I add a decimal, I bring it up, 0 there, and then I have 70 now, so that's 3 times. That's 60. I have 10 left over, add another 0, bring it down. That is 5. Sorry. So that will be 3,500. Okay. So how do I change that into a percentage? I multiply that times 100, or basically I move my decimal twice to the right. So that's the same as 35%. Okay. This one I already know that is 5 tenths or 50 hundredths, which is the same thing, and then 50%. And then 3 over 20. The other way to do this ones, you guys, is if you set up like 3 over 20 and then equal it to 100 here, you're multiplying by 5 times here, and when you do the same thing there, so that will be 15. And so you should know that 15 over 100 is 15%. And if you want to just think 15 hundredths, that's how you write it. Okay? Let me go ahead and give you one to do for this one. So go ahead and give me the experimental probability of pulling out a green marble, okay, in fraction, decimal, and percentage. Pink marble, fraction, simplest form, okay, decimal, and percentage. Brown marble, fraction, decimal, percentage. Okay, let's come over here. So this one is a simulation. So there are different ways that you can simulate an experiment. So for instance, you can use the dice, you can use deck of cards, a spinner, card numbers, things like that. Okay, even marbles, we can use that. So let me, for example, give you an example. So for instance, if you know that a soccer player makes only, 40% of his penalty shots, okay, and you want to figure out if for instance, which is not gonna be the case ever, I think, a soccer player gets to do, I don't know, 16 shots, okay, 16 penalty shots. So if he's able to do 16 penalties and he only makes 40% of that, how can you simulate that instead of actually having the person do it? So if you know that he only makes 40% of the penalties, what you can do is you can grab a deck of cards, you know, number 1 through 10. What's 40% of 10 cards for? So you can say, okay, if I pull out a 1, you know, 1 through 4, that's gonna be that he made it. Okay, if I pull out 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, that means that he's not gonna make it. So that will help you to see out of the 16 penalty shoots about, you know, how many he can make in that sense. Okay, as you go and see, okay, this time he made it, no, second time he didn't make it, third time he made it. Okay, so you won't really need to have him do it, but you can say, okay, the first time, yes, he made it. Second time, oh, his score was a 9, so he didn't make it. And then third time it was a 3, so he made it. You know, fourth time was a 10, no, so he didn't make it. So little things like that you can utilize. Okay. Another thing that you can do is like a card. So for instance, if you know that 25% of the people choose pizza over hamburgers, right? And you don't want to actually ask people, because you know what? Out of a sample of, I don't know, 120 people, that's a lot. As they come, let's see, you know, which number of people prefer pizza over hamburgers. Which 25% of that. So you can say, okay, you know what, the diamond people, when I get diamonds in the cards, those are the people who are gonna prefer pizza, because that's 25% of the deck of cards. Okay, same thing you can do with the spinner, and same thing you can do with the dice. So we'll talk a little more about this in class, but let me just kind of give you an example, a question, and then you can tell me what you can use to do a simulation. Okay, so pretend that 1 out of 6 people that go into a store buy more than $100, and so you want to see out of, you know, the first 10 customers, or rather the first, I don't know, 15 clients, how many of those are going to buy more than $100? Okay, so remember we say that 1 out of 6 customers buy more than $100 worth of groceries, okay, that go into a store. So in the first 15 customers, how many of those are gonna buy $100 or more? Tell me how you can simulate an example, either using, you know, cards with numbers, a dice, spinner, or a deck of cards, or anything else that you can think of. Marbles can also be utilized. Okay, God bless you, bye.